Karoline Leavitt, who is Donald Trump's White House press secretary, has self-destructed over Trump's tariff flip-flop. Here is Tuesday versus Wednesday, okay? And then we'll look in more detail at each of these. Tuesday, Karoline Leavitt saying, no, tariff pause, of course not. And then yesterday, after the tariff pause.
The president was asked and answered this yesterday. He said he's not considering an extension or a delay. I spoke to him before this briefing. That was not his mindset. He expects that these tariffs are going to go into effect. And there will be a 90-day pause on the reciprocal tariffs as these negotiations are ongoing. And the tariff level will be brought down to a universal 10% tariff. Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing.
Quite a different situation there, as you can tell. Let's dig in a little more. Here's what Karoline had to say on Tuesday in a little more detail.
Elena.
Hi, Caroline. It's clear the president has gotten the world's attention with these tariffs. Is he considering at all potentially holding off on imposing some of them before the deadline, or maybe later, reversing them because he's having these negotiations and having these good talks with other leaders?
The president was asked and answered this yesterday. He said he's not considering an extension or a delay. I spoke to him before this briefing. That was not his mindset. He expects that these tariffs are going to go into effect. And you said something very important, Elena, in your question. You said the president has captivated the attention of the world. Absolutely, he has. And it's about time we have a president in the Oval Office who is putting the world on notice and is putting the American people first, and again, is using the leverage of the United States to negotiate good trade deals.
Very strong, very definitive, very clear. And then yesterday, Karoline Leavitt, with a straight face, standing out on the front lawn of the White House and saying, this is Trump doing deals. Why can't everybody tell that he's doing deals? He's not reversing.
Excuse me, Raquel, if I could just add to what the secretary said. Many of you in the media clearly missed the art of the deal. You clearly failed to see what President Trump is doing here. You tried to say that the rest of the world would be moved closer to China, when in fact we've seen the opposite effect. The entire world is calling the United States of America, not China, because they need our markets, they need our consumers, and they need this president in the Oval Office to talk to them.
And of course, no mention of the fact that now she defends Trump's pause as the greatest sign of strength in the world, except 24 hours before she was insisting pause. Of course not. Trump's strength comes from the fact that there will be no pause. But that was Tuesday. And then Wednesday, Trump's strength comes from the fact that, of course, he paused. He's so strong. Everybody capitulated. Everybody came to him. Now, in a very funny moment, Scott Bessent was asked, can you tell us more about the decision-making process? And he just says, no, I can't.
Gary Bessent, can you explain more of the decision-making on what feels like a reversal here? I mean, these went into effect less than 15 hours ago, these tariffs. Why the pause now? What led to that?
No. Again, President Trump created maximum negotiating leverage for himself, and which tariffs went into effect 15 hours ago? The ones that we have lowered went into effect a week ago. They were announced a week ago, and we have just been overwhelmed by the response from mostly our allies who...
This is, of course, a lie. But of course, he can't really explain the decision-making process because the decision didn't make sense. There's no barometer or rubric that is being employed here. It's not, hey, you know what? 25 countries have agreed to lower their tariffs, and therefore we are going to lower our tariffs or eliminate tariffs on those 25 countries. No. Trump simultaneously said, we're going to go up even further on the Chinese tariffs from, I guess, most recently 104% to 125%. What do these numbers even mean at this point? And simultaneously pause the tariffs. So it's all happening completely erratically. And the funniest part about all of this is that there's a guy on Fox News who is willing to admit this isn't Trump winning. This is Trump capitulating. I want to talk about that next. Do you ever feel like it's tough to stay focused? I've sometimes struggled with it, and Brain FM's focus music has really helped me find my groove. I used to think background music from Spotify or YouTube would help me focus, but I ended up distracted, and then I'd start looking for better tracks that would actually help. Then I found Brain FM. It's not just another music app. It's really music designed for when you are trying to do deep work. It's science-backed. The modes can be for deep work or more creativity focus or motivation. They have a turbo mode designed to support ADHD brains. Brain FM's music works within minutes and it delivers results. A peer-reviewed study showed that Brain FM's music boosts attention, especially for people with ADHD tendencies. Brain FM's focus music is the only music made to support ADHD brains. And Brain FM is the only music app funded by the National Science Foundation because of their unique audio technology that changes the patterns in your brain. With Brain FM, I am locked in. The distractions go away. The productivity just happens. And my audience can try it for free for 30 days when you go to brain.fm/Pacman. The link is in the description.